Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and connecting today. This is Darius Barazande, and I am truly excited. We've got a very powerful session. We're going to do a lot of mini healings today and help you. We've got Maria Martinez, who is one of my favorite guests, and one of the things we're really going to be working on is how to embody your greatest self. In fact, really that true self that you are. And we're going to do this by helping you activate something that she's discovered called quantum prosperity. And when we think about prosperity, a lot of us think about money and, having a certain amount, but it's really much more than that, because haven't you known somebody who maybe earned money in a way that wasn't in congruence with who they are? Or maybe they earned money and they sacrificed their soul. They sacrificed what they really were years ago, and now they're just not that. Nobody wants that anymore. And it's one of the reasons that for light workers, it doesn't work. It's actually tougher for us at times to do this because we want to be aligned in all ways. And when you think about the timelines we can come from and what our ancestors went through, if we don't radically shift the timeline, well, we're just going to repeat the same pattern. And one of the biggest things that we're getting from the audience today is remove the struggle. I want to move forward a lot easier. I want to figure out what is it that I am here to do. And Maria is going to help us do that. She's in a mini healing. Yeah, somebody's talking about that. She's going to help us to actually create an extraordinary life from the quantum level first, and then we're actually going to reprogram our essence so that we can heal those core wounds and even those ancestral timeline patterns that can show up in our energetic field. And many of you know her. She is really becoming famous for the quantum activations for abundance. She's had incredible stories where people have literally shifted in huge ways and created some magnificent changes. Karina said, I tripled my income. I changed my relationship with money. She says, I have never experienced this before. It was restricting me from even taking care of myself and even maintaining a normal fitness level. After working with Maria, I'm even more flexible. My back isn't even hurting or even doesn't even feel sore. I don't even feel restricted. This goes way beyond money. So as holistic energy beings, we're going to experience a lot today. And the one who's going to bring it to you is Maria Martinez. She's a human potential activator, a wealth consciousness activator, a multidimensional healer, energy alchemist, light language channel, medical intuitive, and she's also very, very versed in creating a life and truth that really matters to you in all areas. And she's going to help us support what is our true gifts and talents and discover our full potential by not working harder, but by activating the energetics naturally in us of happiness, joy, fulfillment, and prosperity. She has a very unique ability, so please press *2. We're going to help you to see, feel, and know what it is that's in your energy field. She's going to see it. She's going to see also your deepest desire. If you've got like a life path, she's also going to see what is blocking you from that. She is a catalyst because as she works with you, she brings in many multidimensional light beings that come in and do the work to remove the blocks to having it all. And this is not about like having some giant lavish life. This is about being abundantly and fully the quantum being that you are. Not somebody else's timeline, not somebody else's story, but yours. And it's here to be fully written. You have that in you. She's helped thousands, if not tens of thousands, help access their full potential, move into possibility all over the world. And her programs and coaching have catapulted her into the healing world as an extraordinary healer with real world results. I want to share a few more. I shared the story with Karina. Another person wrote in, within 15 minutes, the swelling, pain, and tenderness that I had was gone. This was Claudia W. She said that the swollen lymph nodes had been holding anger that was repressed, disappointment, and sadness from my past. She helped me release all of it within 15 minutes, and the pain was gone. Another person wrote in and said, wow, my brain fog, unworthiness, pain, and anxiety just disappeared. That was Sadia. She says that Maria started doing the activation. All of it disappeared. I'm now feeling calm, centered, complete, worthy, peaceful, and more in control of me. What a gorgeous place I am in. So let's get all of you to that gorgeous place. And if you want some support today, go ahead and press *2 on your phone. And let's welcome Maria Martinez back to Wealth Revolution. Maria, welcome back.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Darius. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. It's just such a beautiful time to really step into our power, embrace it, recreate everything that we desire in the way that best serves us. I'm excited to be here with all of you. Thank you for having me.
It is unbelievable. And I feel like we've turned a corner. I feel like we've opened up kind of like the blinds, and now we're going to see a new window into the future. But before we do that, people will be wondering, like, what was your story? How did you begin to understand the truths about quantum prosperity? How did you begin to connect into these multidimensional light beings? Take us a little bit to that beginning, Maria.
Yeah, I was really fortunate enough to have it at a very young age. I was about 5 when I started working with my angels, my guides, and they virtually became my mentors. I time traveled with them. They showed me the past, they showed me the future. They brought in knowledge and wisdom, antidotes for healing. So I was really working at a very young age, and I was seeing them around me. And at that age, you think it's all play. You just kind of go with it. It's fun, and you do it, and you don't really think anything of it. And when you are in that place of imagination, then everything is possible, right? So as they were showing me, and as they were training me, and they were also taking me to places to retrieve knowledge, retrieve information. I remember one time they took me to like Roman times, and I was in the Vatican, and they had me grab a book, an ancient book that was there that was not available to the public, and I opened the book and it was blank, and I looked at an angel that had brought me there, and I said, it's blank, there's nothing there, and then he ran his hand over it, and then it burned through the page, but it revealed the language, ancient language. And just a lot of history about the Ascended Masters, Jesus, Joshua, what being one of them, a lot of his history. So, a lot of this teaching was being given to me at a very early age. And because I was so open, because my imagination was so open, I really received that. So I was very fortunate about that. However, I come from a lineage of shaman. We call them curanderos, curanderas.
Yes.
My grandparents also saw a lot of the darkness, and that fear about not having taught me everything they felt they wanted to teach me was passed on. So it was passed on to my mom, and it was passed on to me. So when I got a little bit older, like going into the teens, and I started talking about it, then my mom became a little bit more protective of that. Don't work with everybody. Don't tell everybody what you do. She's like, I can't always help you, if I'm not there. So she kind of instilled some fear in me, but it was her way of protecting me. She didn't really have she didn't feel she had all the tools and all the knowledge. And the best way she knew how was to keep me safe, was to kind of, dim that in me, kind of shut that down a little bit to keep me safe. So that actually created a lot of problems, because it wasn't, not being that was not my nature. And, as I got older, and especially going into college, the sort of the shock of leaving home and being on my own brought all of that back. And it was, in a way, I felt like it was out of control, because it was all the time, anytime. Sometimes I didn't even know where I was in terms of which timeline, which dimension I was in. And it was interfering with my day-to-day 3D life. So finally, I came back home one day from college, and I shared my mom with that experience with my mom, and I said, I really need somebody to help me with this. And so it was maybe 19, maybe going into 20, 18, 19, maybe 20. So we found a friend of ours who was also curandera, and she was my first mentor, who started teaching me how to really connect and how to do it more fluidly, how to hone my skills, how to just bring in all my intention into something and create, and how to open up other dimensions, go into different timelines at will. It was very fascinating. It's just very fascinating. So she taught me the tarot. She taught me, how to time chart. She taught me all these really wonderful tools that I now use. I've enhanced them, and I developed them even more, and I've, gotten other training. But again, my very first trainers were my angels and my guides. Jesus came to visit many times. Mother Mary came to visit me many times. Archangel Michael all the time, since the beginning, I remember him being around me. So I've worked with them quite a bit. And then in my early, actually it's probably my mid-30s, I was going through a lot of illnesses, or a lot of just kind of imbalances in my body, and I couldn't understand what it was. And what I realized is that I wasn't living my true path. I had got into corporate America. I was in a corporate job that initially it seemed great and wonderful, but it wasn't fulfilling, and I didn't feel like I was contributing. I didn't feel like I was living my full potential in a way that I was meant to, and I wasn't using my gifts at all. So I just had to, step back from all of that, to recover, to really heal myself again and be back on track. It was just like my whole body was shutting down, autoimmune, and then my life wasn't working. After that, just so many different things, financial started falling apart, my marriage started falling apart. And so I really had to step back and look at, like, what is going on? So this is an indication it's I've been avoiding this for so long. It's really time for me to look at it and to really, follow what makes me happy. I was very unhappy during that time. I just, the past was coming in. Other trauma that I had in my life was coming in. I wasn't, quite dealing with that. So, or at least I thought I had dealt with it and was okay. But apparently, there was other deeper issues and other deeper layers and, other lifetimes I hadn't addressed. So all of that was coming up to the surface, but that was really my springboard to moving forward into my alignment and really stepping into my path and really, embracing all which was given to me, from birth, and really, just really enjoying and being, in the place of, joy and complete acceptance with who I really am and, who I thought, nobody really wants to know about that. Nobody wants to know about spirituality. Everybody's focused on career and money. And in fact, they were focused on career and money, but they, like myself, were missing this part because I put it aside during that time. And that's what I see now is that, a lot of us, we go into work and success and career, and we sacrifice all those other parts of our life, which is what I did as well. But, we think that that's what we're supposed to do because we see others do it that way. We see our parents, we see our friends, we see our, grandparents. So we're carrying their belief systems and we're living into those expectations as well. And we're recreating their life. We're really living their life. So
this is the idea of the timeline. Like, we're recreating the timeline. And one of the things I noticed you said was fascinating about your life's work was you started discovering these antidotes for healing. And I assume these are, of course, energetic. Tell me a little bit about some of these anecdotes, because I think this is going to be really important today. What is an anecdote that might be for lack or scarcity or no abundance? How do you begin to bring in the anecdote energetics to reverse that?
Yeah, and that, also what I learned is that it's sort of, it's very dimensional, meaning that it's not just like one thing and then that's it. You're addressing the places where that is. And usually it's not just in your heart or in your mind. It's in your heart, your mind, your energy, your vibration, in your past lives. And what I meant earlier about the anecdotes, the way they started coming in as forms, like the vibration of oils, the vibration of sounds, the vibration of dust, like, sparkle, energy. But it was energy, and then sometimes it was in form, but a lot of times, especially in remote, it's the vibration of what that is. Sometimes it's codes. So the anecdotes, sometimes when we're working on something like that, we're looking at where it is. What's the where it is in the body and physical body, then where is it from there, where is it in the emotional body, then where is it in the mental body. So we're looking at the subconscious mind as well. We're looking at the spirit. It's the spirit whole with that. Is the spirit in the body? Does the spirit want to be in the body? Is that the thing that is keeping it out of the body? If not, then what's under that thing that we're talking about right now? And that could be unworthiness right now, but what's underneath that? Self-hate, self-loathing, something else, something like that. So we're looking for that. And then once we find it, it's in a lot, it's really customized, because we look at, at least I look at the person I'm working with, and then, with their team, my team, then that comes through, whether it's a symbol, whether it's a frequency, whether it's a code, whether it's sound or light language. And that brings exactly what they need, the vibrational frequency that is going to tune them back into their divine blueprint, back into their alignment. So again, that shows up in many different forms, and sometimes, it has color, right? Sometimes it's color and an image and a vibration that they can even feel themselves. Sometimes is a code that they can integrate and they can even see in their mind's eye. So it's just, like I said, just because we are multidimensional beings, what we bring in is also very multidimensional.
Fantastic. And this is exactly where I want to move to, because the stories you've had have been really profound. I mean, a lot of rapid shifts. And when we talk about abundance, I mean, you said it yourself, it's not just abundance or money. It's something you call quantum prosperity. And what is quantum prosperity to you? What does that really mean for those listening in?
Yeah, so I want to step back first just to talk about quantum. Please. What is quantum? Quantum really is, it is energy, and it's an energy field. However, it doesn't exist outside us. It's actually within us, but we often operate outside of it. Quantum is energetic, it's vibration, and it's the joy of possibility, the joy of, you being in that space of everything is possible for you. And that happens when you activate something within you that moves you into that place of knowing, the place of trust, the place of I am, the place of I believe, and I trust in myself. To get to that place, that's where we need to get all those other layers under for you to access it. So the way it shows up a lot of times is that, when you step into the quantum field, it's like stepping into a platform that it sort of looks like a matrix, sort of looks like this, dome of energy. And when you step into it, you stepped into the field of possibilities. And in the field of possibilities, you can choose to continue to peel off the layers that you've been carrying and then accept what's already there. Or you can access it and, wow, this is amazing. And if you choose not to acknowledge what is within you that is keeping you from living in that space every single day, then it takes a while for you to get to bring in and attract what you truly desire. So again, the quantum field is energy, it's a beautiful space that can be accessed at any time and really by anyone. However, we often forget that we can, and we often forget that it's there and available for us. And it's that space of pure potentiality. It's the space where everything that you desire already exists. It's all your timelines of success. All your timelines is the future now. Like that, yes. The future is already now. And when you step into it, you can really access that. So when we talk about quantum prosperity, we're talking about accessing that space daily, accessing that space every single day. And that is you through, sometimes it's through your meditation, sometimes it's through healings and clearings, and through bringing in other vibrational forms. But it's really when you look at yourself and you decide, you realize, you choose that you're worthy and deserving of having the life that you desire. Because when you do that, there's an energetic shift within you. And that energetic shift, it just created the momentum. So as you continue to go through the layers of who you are, as you continue to choose, that's the first layer, that's the conscious level. And then bring in that new vision of who you are into your subconscious mind and live in it. That's another layer. Now you've ignited, you pumped up that energy. The energy is now expanding. And now you're feeling it in your heart. And now it is real. You're celebrating it. Now you've expanded that energy even more. And then you go into now the gratitude, the forgiveness, the joy, bringing joy into your life every day. Now that's expanded. And when you can be in that space, and it's natural to be in that space, you're naturally in the quantum field. It's the space of joyful possibilities. That is the quantum field. But for some of us, it's really hard to get to that. For some of us, especially if we have the day-to-day challenges, or if others have challenges and we feel responsible for them, or we feel we can't be happy because they're not happy, or we feel that life is a struggle, or we feel like, we have certain conditions about having and receiving. We we kind of connect with it, and then, okay, so tomorrow I have to work hard again to get to it again, instead of truly living in it. And it is something that again is accessible to everybody, and it can be measured. And when you live in it, it's just, you have this incredible sense of knowing and resolve and absolute. You're unwavering. You're unstoppable. Yes. You have, if we talk about, the levels of vibration, you're at level of, true joy and happiness and enlightenment. You're just in complete trust, radical trust. And again, we're all, we can all access it, but it's staying there is what's really important. Stay there and be there and practice that joy and be in that space every day. When you're there, you'll notice that all around you, you're attracting that which matches that joyful possibility. Everything starts to come in easily and flowing in without you having to effort. I'm saying this and I'm kind of reading into the energy of everybody. I can see some people kind of connecting with it, saying, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. And I can also feel somebody like, oh, I don't know. It kind of feels difficult. So what I like for everybody really to do is just be open to knowing that it is within you, that you can access it. It's not a special thing that only certain people can access it. It's available to you. And because it's available to you, you can step into it anytime. You can step into that amplification of who you are, that beautiful space that when you create, when you decide, when you choose it, when you're in alignment with it, when you flow in that joy and love of who you are, it is done, it is done, it is done, and there it is. And so it is. That's the space that we're talking about. And when we talk about prosperity, we're really talking about every area of your life. We're not just talking about money and career and success. We're talking about, health and vitality and everything, like being blessed in every area, receiving the blessing in every area of your life and feeling it and knowing it and just, being in the place of I am. Like, this is my life. This is me. I am this is how I flow. This is how I flow.
I love this. And, I do want to get into some of what you've discovered about what can hold people back. I want to go to a story from one of the people that you worked with, because we may find some nuggets here. I know a lot of people are saying, okay, that sounds good. I want that. I hear that on calls like this. But how is this different? How is this going to get me there? And Carrie Ina was one of the people that, we talked about early on. She actually not only released some pain in her back and stiffness, but she tripled her income. What happened there? What was it in the field or timeline of this dear soul? What was it that you found that was holding back this flow that was naturally hers? Can you share that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned earlier that when there's something going on in our life, it's not localized to where it's happening. Mm-hmm. So for her, that pain in her back, it was physical, but really it was about not feeling supported, about really efforting. And we talked about her relationship with money. There were a lot of conditions around money. If I do this and when I do this, and about working hard and about living up to an expectation, living up to an image. This is the image of success. This is the image of money. And so when we shifted all of that, those belief systems, and we shifted her relationship with money, when we shifted that money is easy, money is love, money is energy, money is light, money is a part of her, and money is always available to her, then that expanded her relationship with money, because it was no longer if and when. It wasn't an exchange of effort. It wasn't an exchange of her resources. It was just, I could just receive it. I could just, it's there. I have to feel like I have to earn it, or I have to be worthy. And the reason I say have to be, because we already are. We're already worthy of it. But if you don't feel worthy, then that money is not going to show up the way you want it to. So we got those out of the way. We released all those belief systems that were keeping her in hard work, efforting, conditioning. If and when this happens, then I will have that. Or when I do this, then that's going to happen. So we released the conditions around money, and we opened up the flow, really opened up the flow for her. And with that, then she felt supported, because if you see what happened when we opened it up, then we opened up resources. So earlier, the pain was, I don't feel supported. I don't have that many resources. So as we opened up the flow for her, that shifted that and removed that energy from her back and body, and expanded that into flow. My energy flows easily through me. Money flows into my life easily and effortlessly, with ease. So it's a wonderful, and that happens often. That happens often when we have those belief systems. And again, it's just when we look at the belief system, that's one part. Then it's where is it in the physical body, and then what's the emotion attached to it. So we go one layer by one layer, and then sometimes it's like, well, whose belief is it really? Is it yours or someone else's?
Yes.
Those belief systems that you're running. So we keep going into discovering and releasing, discovering and releasing. We're getting to the core. We're getting to the root cause. She's a good example of that. And there have been many other people that I work with where their money is not even connected to this lifetime. It's connected to another lifetime, where they took advantage of money. They took from others. So there was greed involved. There was abuse of power, and there were others that had other lifetimes in which they were victimized by others, and now they decided they were going to be safe, so they were just not even going to entertain the idea of having money around to keep themselves safe. So we have all these conditions and all these entanglements and all these decisions that we make at different levels, at the physical level, the spiritual level, the energetic level, that create contracts and agreements that we're now playing out. And the goal is to really uncreate all of that and reset that to an experience, a new perception of you and the life that you want to live, so that you can step into that new life.
Yes, I agree with this completely, and it's interesting you mentioned ancestral or timeline or past life energy. How much does that potentially affect us? I mean, how often do you see that sort of thing in your practice and work?
It's almost, I would say, like 60 to 70%. Sometimes, wow. I would say probably more than that.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, okay, yes, I need to talk about this. It's coming in. Yeah, keep going. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because who are we, right? We are the product of our parents, and they're the product of their parents, and they're the product of their parents. And although we're spiritual beings, we're light beings, and we're in this journey having this beautiful expression in this beautiful vessel, we still carry the DNA, and we still carry the memories, we still carry the stories of our past and everything that was passed down to us in our DNA. So, our journey is to break free and to complete it, to send love, to set everyone free from that, in particular ourselves, so that our future and our future families, so that they can live a life of freedom and joy. And that's the journey that we're in. So, looking at the past and looking at your ancestors is really important, because oftentimes we have hidden loyalties. We have, hidden benefits there. We have, ideas of, we want to honor them and they suffer, so then I will suffer too. Or they sacrifice their whole life for me, so therefore, since they didn't have, I can't have. Why could I have? Or why can I give myself or allow myself to have when they didn't? So we carry all these guilt, and we carry all these attachments. We carry all these hidden benefits to struggle and to suffering, and it's misguided. It's we think that we're doing the right thing, but it's all an illusion. And then we go back and we were like, what did they really intend? If they were here, if our ancestors are here, if they were here, would they want us to suffer? No, of course not. They would want us to be free and set them free. And through, doing regression or doing timeline work, ancestral work, we can set them free. Because now if they're living their journey and they didn't complete their karma, they're going to come back and try and complete it again, right? But if we can do that for ourselves, and then we can go back as far as we can, sometimes it's 17 generations, sometimes it's more, then now all of them, there's less for them to come back and try and complete. So, they integrate the lessons, we integrate the lessons. And now our whole lineage is upgrading.
Can anybody have abundance? This question just came in.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Because some of the energies I'm reading from the audience, they're just kind of coming into me in the field. It's like, yeah, this sounds great, but I can't. And then, there's the fill in the blank. I can't because of this. Tell me about that, because a lot of people say, yes, but you don't understand my situation. What would you say to them?
Right. Yeah. When somebody says that, it's really something that has been ingrained. It's a story that they've created and already accepted. And we're coming off from a place of love, right? There's no judgment here. It's just how we are as human beings. We create the story that this is our life, and we've accepted that, and we've tried certain things that didn't work. And so we get to go back and look at how did we make those choices. So for instance, to be more specific. So, for instance, let's say that, I just go back with my life. I was in corporate America, and it was amazing, and it's this, and I had success, but then that didn't really turn out the way I wanted. And then a series of events after that, just different business ventures didn't work out, just a lot of financial loss. And so I could have been stuck in that. I'm like, oh, nothing works. Nothing's ever going to work. Nothing. Yeah. But I had to stop and really take responsibility for the life that I had created. Take responsibility for, the choices that I made from where I made them. It wasn't about fault and blame. It was like, where was I? What emotion was I running that I made this choice and I got this result? I was in fear. I was in anger. I was frustrated. I was, all these things that we suppress or that, run our life. And then when I was able to uncover from where I made that decision, and I was, began to release all of that, then hope started to come in. Then hope, just like a big shining light, like the sun shining down on me. And then, then it's possible. Everything is possible. So, I say that because we, when we experience certain things and then we try and then it doesn't work, and then we move into this energy of what's the use, or feel hopeless, or I've tried everything and nothing's worked, or this is not for me, it's for everybody else, or other people get that, but I'm not it. So, but that's an illusion. That's an illusion. So we get to go back, and again, sometimes it's not even in this lifetime. Sometimes it's not even yours. It's your parents or other lifetimes. So we get to go back. It's like, where was that first decision made? Where did you decide that life, wasn't going to be successful for you, that life wasn't going to be fulfilling, that you didn't deserve abundance? And then, we go back to that time, we uncreate that, and we reset that in your relationship with either the people around you or the events. And then we integrate that all the way up to now. So you've basically, you took a canvas that maybe had dark colors, gray colors, just kind of very kind of doom and gloom colors. And now you went back and you're like, oh, wow, I'm seeing this from this perspective. I'm going to add a little color here, some yellow here, some orange, vibrant blue. And now you have a new canvas. And now it's like, okay, I'm looking at it from a new set of eyes. And that's what we get to do. And abundance is our gift. Our abundance is it's our divine right. It's creation. Abundance is source energy, and we're source energy. So yes, absolutely, abundance is available to you. It's just going back and identifying, where did I decide that it wasn't available to me? What event created me not believing that it was available to me? What agreements do I have about not having abundance? Where did I give up my right, permission, and ability to have? And, so we go back and unravel all of that. And then we move you into a space of empowerment. I am, and I'm choosing it now. And then you get practices, you move into practices to start bringing that in and open up the doors of abundance for you. Gratitude, joy, happiness, just seeing the world with a new set of eyes.
I think this opening is the key. When we think of abundance, it's really about opening, because when we start to open up, when we start to connect in and let in our true self and what we really are, what we're really here to do, we start to look at the world and everything around us as already ours. And I don't mean that from a control perspective. It's not this like 3D duality, but it's actually like it's the same dominion that created the tree. It's the same dominion that creates the river, same dominion that creates the mountains, as that which our higher self and our essence is. It all comes from God's source. So when we align to that, we are no longer against the world or the world against us, as happened so many times. We are actually one with all things. And so that being one with all things means that everything is already ours. So we no longer have that feeling of struggle. We just reach out our hand and we receive. And I know that's a little deep, but this is the download I want, the Spirit is sharing with me on this, is that this is really the end point, right? And it's huge. This is not, it's not what you may think. It is so deep, Maria. I want to say, thank you for doing this, because, I mean,
Oh,
you are embodying this higher dimensional frequency that is really getting people not just to abundance, but what we say is quantum prosperity. What they really are is the essence of them connected to all things already. Meaning, like, you already have it all. It is already yours. You just have to understand you hold out your hand, and it then begins to come in. So yeah, it's amazing. I get it. I've gone through this, so like I can see from the other side of the road exactly where people are, but I also see where they go. And so yeah, this is getting very quantum, but if you want to change it forever, check it out. Anything you want to say? Because I know we're going to have a bunch of questions here. Like, who is this product for? Who is this? It's not even a product. Who is this deeper help support, energy for?
This program is really for anyone and everyone who is ready to really take on themselves. Again, similar to the process we did, like, see yourself where you are now in this moment in time, and be willing to release those layers. Be willing to say, okay, yeah, this hasn't worked for me, doesn't work for me anymore, or that worked for me, doesn't work for me anymore. And then be willing to, with kindness and compassion, remove all those layers, and be willing to be committed to doing whatever it takes, and whatever it takes, just you showing up, you loving yourself, you forgiving yourself, you accepting yourself as you are, and you taking that guided action to do your practice, to see the world from a different set of eyes, to see, to be that vibration of loving kindness, for you to want more. And to know that it is possible. So it's really, really for anyone and everyone who is ready to embody their truth, true prosperity, true love, true happiness, true joy. This is who it's for.
How is this different than some of the other work you've done in the area of abundance? Because, I know a lot of people said, oh, I've done some of this. This is a little different, and actually maybe very, very different in the scope of where you're going.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the other programs that we've done just recently, the content was different, and what we were focusing on was different. Although my work is very similar, my work is always kind of really the same in terms of how I approach things in the multidimensional field. That I do, but the vibrations, the frequencies that we were working with before, as I said, they keep, new frequencies keep coming in, and we keep accessing them, and then we get to embody them. So we were working with what we had before available. Now we have new frequencies of prosperity, new frequencies that are available for us to embody more of who we are. And that's what we're bringing in. The topics are also very different. The way the programs come in, because I channel everything, I always tune into the group and the audience, and then it comes together, and source comes through me and brings it into form. They're always intended to upgrade you. So if you did something in the past, you were upgraded. You receive the frequencies, you integrated. Now, as I mentioned, we're in a journey. We're in a journey, and every time we up level, then we're ready to up level again, right? We don't stay where we can choose to. We can choose to if that's where we want to stay. But if we want to continue with our evolution and our ascension, then we go to the next level. So it's different in that way, meaning, topics are a little bit different, the way they're being integrated, the way the frequencies are coming, the type of frequencies that are coming in are very different. But in terms of what you received in the past, in the way you integrated it, the way it was supposed to. So it was also perfect and beautiful. Now this is the next level.
Yep. And now here we go. And I want to get to some questions. Check it out. uwealthrevolution.com/Maria21. If you want to do it faster and easier, but also more aligned to who and what you are, this is the next level of upgrades. Pieta is in Auckland, Australia. She says, thank you for such an amazing, unexpected start to my day. I said mini healing Monday. I'm not kidding. It was going to be awesome. The intention was set. It was like, I don't know, it was like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of clearing work. Sharon in England said, my gosh, she used the other word, G-O-D, but she said, it was so strong. It was like watching a film. All the pictures of different people where they saw me, where they were me in the past life. Thank you so much. Another person, I was crying, laughing in joy. Oh my gosh. If someone is really struggling, like what is the first part of this program they should start with? What is like the first thing they should listen to? If it's like an emergency lifeline, they feel like there's no hope, get the program, but then where would you begin? Where would you tell them, do this first?
Yeah. So what I would say is that if you're really, if there's something really happening right now in your life, and you feel like I really need some support, the MP3 goes out on the 8th of April. However, if you feel like you need some support earlier, you can schedule a one-on-one session, and we can do that. And if for some reason, there's because I realize that we are in different countries, and sometimes the time frame doesn't work for you. Just email me and then say, what's available is not in my time zone. What's available doesn't work for me for my hours of work based on my time zone or based on the country that I'm in. And then we'll find another time for you. We'll make it work for you. So the support is there. It's available to you. So know that if we need to sort of adjust certain things, we can do that for you. But I urge you just to take a look, tune in for yourself. Does this nourish my soul? Does this feel good to me? Does this feel like a blessing? Does this feel like it's the next step for me? Does this feel like it's supportive for me? Ask yourself any of those questions and see how you feel about it. And because it's not a coincidence that we come together. It's not a coincidence that we're all here together. We're drawn here, called here for a reason. So just check in for yourself and see, if I'm ready. Am I ready for this? And is this beautiful energy going to support me in my, and then you can state what it is that you're working on in my prosperity, in my wealth, in my abundance, in my career, in my health, in my relationship, and then listen to the answer.
Oh, I love that. And and if people are wanting support immediately, the cool thing is you're also going to be getting audios that are going to be starting to come in, and so you're not going to be alone. You're not going to have the challenges without some support. And the neat thing is during the 12-week series, which everyone's going to get if you buy any one of these packages, it's in there, you're going to start getting that support. So you start out with living the life of empowerment as the mighty creator that you are. I think that is a huge beginning to let go. So actually it's going to come very soon, and there's even a bonus between now and Sunday at midnight in addition to the extra 15 minutes with Maria, which is the tune-up or the reconnection. You're going to also get a balancing 100% pure light for healing of the creative power and strength from the Mother Earth to balance the divine masculine and feminine. So that's also coming in immediately. So check that out. And Maria, I want to go real quick to just a few questions. People are coming in. One person's writing in. This is Sheila, who says, I'm 80 years old and I've never created abundance, I believe, in my life before in the way that I would like. How is it possible this could work for me? Is it too late for me?
Yeah, the question of it, is it too late? So the answer is no, it's not too late. But we get to look at what is your intention for abundance, because we all have our own definition of it, right? So what is your intention of abundance, and then we work with that. Right. But overall, is it too late? It's never too late for anything, right? Everything is always possible if we believe it's possible, and we step into it and we get in alignment with that. So so this is really a message for everybody, right? Especially if we're feeling like there's no hope. There's always hope. There's always have to receive, create what you desire. And abundance is your divine right. It is already within you, and now we get to activate it in different ways.
Absolutely. It is never too late. Please do not give up. This energy is within you. And I want to thank everybody who's here. And most of all, I always want to thank the audience, because without you, Maria, and I couldn't do anything. But I also want to say thank you, Maria, for being a part of this show and putting this together, downloading this from the higher dimensionals, and also just being open to the field that this is the next level for this beautiful audience to receive. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you. My pleasure. Always my pleasure to come and play with all of you. And I look forward to connecting with you and having you in my program. Thank you so much. Blessings to all of you.
Oh, my gosh. All right. That is Maria Martinez. And we are going to continue sending you big love as we exit the session. I'm going to ask Maria one last thing. Maria, what is a final wish you have for the audience today? Maybe for that person who really wants to give up or doesn't think it's possible.
Yeah, just take a moment and take a deep breath. And as you take that deep breath, bring in the light. And as you bring in the light, know that that light is the resonance of who you are. It's the essence that already emanates through you. And because you are light, you deserve to have what you desire. You deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve a fulfilled life. You deserve to create a life that works for you. And you are loved. You are loved because you are creation. And because you are creation, you're worthy and deserving. So remember that. You can have what you desire. Give yourself permission to have that. Honor who you truly are and love yourself. Thank you.